The Mindful Life Practice.
All right. So get your pillows. Oh, that is on my blankie. I don't want to wake her up. I want my blankie. I'm sorry, cat. I'm gonna wake you up, babe. We're gonna switch it up tonight. I usually end this class with Viparita Karani, which I call like the dessert at the end of the meal, but we're gonna have dessert first tonight. So come to bring your body to scooch up beside the wall. If you want some pillows, go ahead. Turn your phone off. I need my phone off. Scoot your hips up. And you're going to lay down with your legs extended up the wall. Your feet resting on the wall, your palms on your belly. And if you don't have a wall, you can modify with whatever furniture you've got around. And just kind of drop yourself into stillness and drop yourself into centeredness. So I had this absolutely insane week this week. It was absolutely insane. The schedule of our studio quadrupled. The same time I decided it was the week that we were gonna transition the entire business. Was making phone calls with, my business coach and my lawyer, and Ryan is helping me with the website. And it was also the same week that we had conference calls with our parents. I'm a teacher. I have another job. We had conference calls all day, and taught my bar class tonight. And then I actually had to coach a client. And it's like when you take a moment to kind of slow down and stop and like actively listen for an hour, you realize like, oh my God, I'm so burnt out. I don't know if, what's going on in your life or what you're experiencing or feeling, but I think I'm one of these persons that lives in extremes. And I'm super go, go, go. And I think in the helping profession, which many of us are in, whether we're teachers or, wellness professionals or therapists or whatever our jobs are, burnout is like a super common phenomenon. If we don't recharge our batteries, they burn out. And so I sat down and went to plan this yoga class. And I realized that, I didn't need to come up with any complex themes about yoga philosophy or anything deep tonight. Because really what I need, and I hope what all of us need, especially if we're hitting our 30 days, is I just need a little R&R, a little bit of rest. So that was a super long-winded story to just get to the point that our intention here is to rest. To rest and recuperate and restore. If you're with us in the Middle East, we are at the end of our week right now. And so it's like kind of the evening wind down, the Friday night wind down for us. You might be right in the middle of your week, and that's okay too. As we drop into stillness and drop into this moment, set your intention around this practice. My intention is R&R, rest and restore. It could be the same for you or something different. Let's give our body maybe just another minute in this pose, so like 10 more breaths. And then just take your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little bit of a hug. You can just slowly rock your knees from side to side. Then rock over to one side. And we're going to slowly, slowly peel our way up. Just slide your pillows to one side, and the next pose we're going to come into is a forward fold. So option one, you can land your feet and then just drop your body forward, coming into a neutral dangle. I feel like taking this a little deeper, and I'm gonna come into this variation. It's more like a yin pose, but I'm just in the mood tonight. So you're gonna roll your body forward, lay your back against the wall, and then start to walk your feet forward. So this is just like one variation that can help you deepen into this pose. But if it doesn't feel good for your back, then back off and just take a normal dangle. We are going to be here for about 5 minutes. So I guess this whole concept of, recharging our batteries and self-care. I think it's sometimes ironic that, my passion in life is that I want to help people with wellness and I'm a wellness professional. And yet striking that balance between like having some time to care for yourself. So many of us are giving to others all the time, but we also need to take time to give to ourselves. That's what showing up for this practice is all about. And so I guess the greatest yoga philosophy that this ties to, or, what is present for me, what shows up for me is the very first yama, which is what we started with at the beginning of this month. Ahimsa. I remember my teacher, Rolf, he said something that it was like ahimsa, love. Satya is truth. That's yama number 1 and yama number 2. And he said, the end of the day, like that could be pretty much the guide for life. Love and truth. So ahimsa, love, is one of the most important of the yamas, one of the most important of the commitments. And practicing self-care and showing up to take care of yourself, it's a practice of ahimsa, it's a practice of self-love. We're going to be in this fold for about 2 more minutes. Just kind of letting the blood flow go to the brain. Letting your heart heavy forward. Letting your body relax. And then just kind of let your presence in this present moment heal you. Release you of all those things on your to-do list. Help you recuperate. Just about 1 more minute. If it ever gets too much against the wall, just back off a little bit. Giving yourself 10 more breaths. And then just slowly, slowly, slowly roll your body all the way up to stand. And then let's just take a moment in your Tadasana, finding your strong and steady mountain. Feel the effects of that shape and that practice just kind of wash over you. And then we're going to make our way directly into a supported child's pose. So a few forward folds today. I'm going to set myself up with a blankie and a pillow and bring my knees wide. Sit my hips back. And then just kind of peel your body forward, resting a cheek. So what does it really mean to practice ahimsa? There's a ton of different ways you can interpret every concept in yoga philosophy. And ahimsa, a lot of people literally interpret it. It literally translates to I will do no harm to all other beings, non-violence towards other beings. A lot of people interpret this as becoming a vegetarian. I don't know why or where that came from. But I remember, going on my yoga teacher training and thinking that, I wasn't a real yogi because I like to eat meat. And in every room of yoga students, when you bring up these concepts, you can get into debates. I think it's up to you how you want to interpret how you're going to practice, nonviolence towards others. And if that means you start practicing vegetarianism, then that might be your way to embody ahimsa. For myself, a big thing that I did a lot growing up was I gossiped about other people. And when I started to step into the path of yoga, I tried to embody nonviolence by trying to be non-judgmental, trying as hard as I can to not gossip. Trying to judge people a lot less. If your cheek is on one side, just roll it to the other side. I think one way that we can really sort of think about practicing ahimsa is how do we love ourselves? How do we show love to ourselves? And for me right now, it needs to be, designating a time in my life where I'm not working, put down my work and I just relax. I mean, I think we universally around the world are struggling with this. Our home lives, our work lives have all blended into one, and people think we're available 24/7 to answer any emails. And for myself, I need to learn how to create a division between my job and my rest, my job and my home life. So that I can practice, self-love toward myself, practice ahimsa toward myself. So what does ahimsa look like for you? How do you practice nonviolence towards yourself and nonviolence towards others? Or just more literally translated into love towards yourself and love towards others. Now let's take one more round of breath in this child's pose. And we're going to move into just a soft twist. So just slowly make your way up. And it might be nice to have a pillow that you can stack your knees on. I'm going to grab a sip of water. Or you can even place the pillow between the knees. Drop the knees to one side, open the arms, gaze in the opposite direction. And then just take a moment to feel how you're breathing. We didn't spend a lot of time focusing on the breath today, did we? on one of my yoga teacher trainings, actually the same one that I did with Courtney, I remember watching this really powerful TED Talk. It was by a teacher called Dr. Alan Watkins. He did this study on the breath and how it can soothe you. I don't think I understood really when I came to yoga how significant a role the breathing actually, had on my experience. Dr. Alan Watkins was able to prove that by changing 3 elements of the breath, we could transition from an anxious state to a more calm state. Those 3 elements were, the first is rhythm. Is your breath rhythmic or is it staccato? Just notice. See if you can make your breath a bit more rhythmic with each and every inhale. Then the next element is even. Is my breath even? Am I evenly inhaling and evenly exhaling? And then the third element was physically where we're breathing. Okay, so as a child, I was always breathing up into my chest. There's no right or wrong way to breathe, but what Dr. Alan Watkins was able to prove is that if you breathe up in your chest, you might feel a bit more anxious. And if you send your breath lower so that it's more in your heart space, it can help you be grounded. Help you feel more calm. And, this whole thing, it's kind of interesting because What are the other times in life where people feel calm? Like for me, when I was singing in choirs growing up, and that requires huge, breath and diaphragm work. A lot of people say that scuba diving is very meditative for them, and it's the same thing. You're breathing deeply, evenly, you're controlling your breath. I mean, I'm not a scuba diver, so I can't really comment on it, but breathing is one of the key tools of our yoga, and it's one of the key things that, is going to help us and support us on this journey. So let's just stay here for about 5 more breaths, keeping them deep, keeping them rhythmic, and keeping them from the heart center. And then let's just take the knees all the way up through center. And then send them the opposite way. Cushioning yourself with whatever you need. So we've been talking a lot about practicing love and practicing self-care and I think at the end of the day, the best thing you can do for yourself is what you're doing right now. Just forcing yourself to turn off your phone, forcing yourself to stop. Forcing yourself to disconnect. And then just taking an hour, which is fully for you and about you. It's like the opposite of our, super active, go, go, go lives. And that can make it super difficult for people. When I first arrived at yoga, vinyasa yoga was much better, much easier for me, actually. Because even though it's physically harder, you're constantly moving. Your mind has something to focus on. And when you're in a practice like restorative, or you're in a practice like yin, you can have a lot going on. And in the stillness, you're kind of really challenged to find a way to be in the present moment, to find a way to keep your mind from wandering away. So even though these practices at surface level seem super easy, sometimes for different people, they sort of bring up different stuff. Just let yourself feel whatever you're feeling. Each breath kind of sinking a little deeper into the twist and the shape. We'll be on this side for maybe about a minute more. And come all the way back up through center. Just slide the pillow to the side. Oh, I'm ready for bed. Take your knees into your chest. This is like the perfect wind down, hey? Rock from side to side. And then if there's any last movements before your Shavasana or your meditation, feel free to take them. I'm going to come a little closer to you guys. I forgot to tell you at the beginning, we are ending a couple minutes early today, and only because this is a very special time of week now for me, 9:30 p.m. on a Thursday. It's the one time of week where this woman comes into my grandma's retirement home and she gives her iPad so she can Zoom us. Oh my God, I'm crying. I'm so tired. I think we're all going through this where we're separated from the people we love, and I think it's people like our grandmas who can't figure out how to work Zoom that are hurting the most and are the loneliness. So anyway, that was all a tangent to say that I'm ending 5 minutes early so I can get on that call. Sometimes it helps if you kind of dedicate your practice and dedicate your meditation or your movement to someone you love and someone you care about. And so I'm going to sit here and just dedicate this to my grandma. With each inhale and each exhale, sending a bit of love and light her way. Maybe sending love and light to someone else in your life. Maybe not someone that you necessarily super close to, but maybe it's a colleague that you know is struggling. Just with each breath in and each breath out, sending some love and some light their way. And maybe thinking of someone that you're not on positive terms with. If you're open to it, sending some love and light their way. Think of yourself. Send some love and light your own way. You got this. You're doing the best you can. Maybe sending this radius of love and light beyond you and beyond your scope of people in your life to all beings everywhere on this earth. May they be well. May they be happy. May they be healthy. May they be free. When you're lost and alone, or you're sinking like a stone, carry on. May your past be the sound of your feet upon the ground, and carry on. When you're lost and alone, or you're sinking like a stone, carry on. May your past be the sound of your feet upon the ground, and carry on. Carry on, carry on. Just give your fingers and your toes a little wiggle. If you're with me and seated, just stay. If you're on your back, just making your way up to seated, taking our palms at heart center. And I just want to give a moment of gratitude. I was thinking about Zoom and, my grandma not being able to work Zoom. We are so lucky that we have this technology and we can be together and we can heal together and we can share this practice together, even though we are, in Canada, in Norway, in Abu Dhabi, in wherever else we are coming from today, UK, I can't remember them all. Take a moment and just appreciate that. We'll seal with an Om sound, taking an inhale and then an exhale. then an inhale through to make an Om. Okay, so a breath in, and then a breath out, and a breath in. We close with an intention, an ancient intention, but perhaps the original intention. It's been passed from heart to heart, year after year. And it's that our yoga practice remain steady, and that our efforts remain continuous, and that our yoga serves and benefits all beings everywhere. May all beings be well. May all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy and free, and may the thoughts and actions of each of our lives contribute towards this. Om Shanti, 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 peace, namaste.
The Mindful Life Practice.